Hi, I'm Gavin Young. This is the Technical Advisors Supernova AGM 2020 report. I've been told to stop shaking my leg. Okay, so I think this is the first year where I'm actually going to say it's not been a great year for our sport. Every year I think we say, oh, it's been another good year, but as we know, this year has not been very good at all, and we've not really managed to get on the water. Although, despite all that, the committee has been working really hard to organise events, unorganised events, and basically get us to a position where we can actually get to the Inland Championships, which will be a first major event for this year. I'm excited to say that whilst filming this, I'm actually sat on the Class's new loan boat. It's got a blue undercover, but it's actually red. It's actually a red boat. So we purchased a Hartley Mark II polyester, sail number 1031, and we purchased it so we can loan it out to young members, try and encourage them into the class, getting on the water, try and get them to some of our major events where they can experience 100 plus nationals. There's not many classes that can offer that. So we've been putting some efforts to give her a polish, bring her up to speed, sort out the rigging, and basically make it so she's reliable, competitive and ready to rock. Of course, we've been fitting that in between home life, holiday life, and the aim is that this will all be ready, and hopefully you'll see it at the inland. So you see this report now, and hopefully when you get to Burton you'll see the class's new boat. So this year we've only completed 2 association events. I think we did the Winters in February and the Cotswold Open. That's all we've managed to do. So I've not had much contact with the main fleet this year, and I'm not aware of any new technical issues, which is good news, but bad news because we haven't really been doing any sailing. So the topics that we've been discussing over the last couple of years, really I've now considered that we've kind of closed most of them. So sail number colours, I think that's all done and dusted. We revised the class rules. Goosenecks, we've talked about those. We know the standard ones are fine. We know you can get some plastic ones from Peak if you don't like all the black sludge on your foredeck. The other issue was sail battens. I think we've all again discussed sail battens. Seem to make some people go faster, other people don't seem to like them. So again, personal choice, and no effect to the class rules. One of the issues we had, I think last year was raised, was the alley trolleys. We had some of them crack at the front. Not heard any more reports of that. So I think we had one break, which was Steve Johnson's, and I think Ellen Clancy had one with a crack, and she's now got a replacement. I've not heard of any other issues. So as far as I'm concerned, the issue's kind of closed. Hartley's have supplied some parts to replace those. But if you have any issues, or we see more of them, then please let me know, and we'll raise that with Hartley's. Just the last point really on the sail numbers is I've recently replaced some sail numbers on a sail myself. Just a note to say, when you do that, you really need to make sure you're following the racing rules of sailing spacing rules. They're supposed to be 60 centimetres from the edge of the sail, 60 centimetres between each sail number. When I took the old sail numbers off, they totally did not comply with that at all, so I had to lay them all out. So it's just something to be aware of. If you're changing sail numbers, you do need to make sure they're properly spaced and in the right place on the sail. If you remember, last year's AGM, right at the end, when we had any other business, I asked the membership if they'd be interested in a soft protest scheme, such as the RYA Racing Charter. I think we discussed it, and we agreed that it's something you'd like to see us adopt as a class. So we've therefore revised the class rules. We've added Appendix 3, which is now titled Class Adoption of the RYA Racing Charter. Unfortunately, we've not had a chance to try it out this year, but do have a look, remind yourself what it's about. The aim is, if you have an issue on the water, you don't want to raise a hard protest, you can ask for a soft hearing, an advisory hearing, and if we've got appropriate experienced class representation at the event, then we can hold the hearing, discuss it out, and look to see who was at fault, who wasn't at fault, and without it being a hard protest. So hopefully that will encourage people to raise and discuss issues that have happened on the water without us having to fight, understand, learn the rules. Probably won't affect people's results if it's not a protest, but it allows us to learn and resolve those issues. People can walk away knowing, what the situation should have been, and be able to apply it next time. Following last year's Nationals, we managed to produce a top 10 questionnaire. So we sent that out to the Nationals top 10, and we had a really good response. I think all of them, if not most of them, responded. There's some really good tips in there on their rig setup, some of their thoughts around the course, the way they approach specifically the Nationals at Paignton, and it's worth having a look through. I flick through it regularly to remind myself some of the comments. Everyone's got their own little focus, their own little thing. You'll see there's some common themes, but also people have got their own little thing they like to concentrate on. So it's worth having a look through that. And again, when we have our next Nationals, I aim to do the same thing. So if you're in the top 10, you need to get home and start writing. I've continued to publish the short Gav's tidbits on the website. I've mainly focused on kit and boat setup. I'm always happy to receive some new ideas, so if you've got things you want to share with me, please do. I'd like to thank Matt Biggs for sharing his latest creation. He's been really busy, I say really busy, rigging out his new boat, and he shared with us some of the changes he's made. New toe strap positions, kicking strap takeoff, layout, some bungee takeaways to tidy up the control lines. It's a magnificent piece of work, and I'm not suggesting we should all go out and do that. It is personal preference. Ultimately, probably doesn't make a lot of difference to your boat speed, if any, but it does show some of the things that you can do to make the boat a bit more personal to you, maybe a bit more comfortable for you to sail. In terms of the tidbits, there's only so much we can talk about on the boat, and I think we've covered a lot of that. So going forwards, I'm going to try and start looking at the most important bit, which is you or me, and what we do actually in the boat, how we sail the boat, and the things we want to be thinking about and doing as we go around the course. So I'm going to try and link you in with some YouTube clips that I've found helpful over the years, and allow you to look through those and improve your sailing. At the time of filming this report, I'm waiting some information from Heartless so I can complete the builder's report. So there might be an extra little video at the end if I manage to get some numbers. I know they've been busy building boats, they've had a busy year, but I've not had any numbers from them yet. As far as I'm aware, they're pretty happy with the quality of the boats. They've seen no major issues, and I think, no one's told me otherwise, but I think we may even have had a year where people actually picked up the colour boats that they ordered in the first place, which would be possibly a first. So if you are aware of any issues, or there's been any systemic issues that we need to be aware of them, please let us know, and we can pick those up with Heartless. The other key thing is they're not planning any changes. They're really happy with the quality of the boat, and they aim to just consolidate what they've got and keep making this the good epoxy boats they've been producing. So that just leaves me really to say a big thanks to the committee and all the supporting volunteers that make up the Supernova Class Association. It's been a very strange year for the class. My role has been relatively simple, but the rest of the team have been working really hard, organising events, working through all the COVID regulations and requirements with Burton Sailing Club so that we can be in a position to actually go to our 2020 inland. So hopefully, between this video going out and us getting there, nothing else changes, and we'll see you all there. So look forward to seeing you all there at a 2 metre distance, of course. Happy sailing.